Hello everyone, we are at India Energy Week 2026 in Goa, where leaders from India and across the world are discussing India's energy future. And to talk more about it, I'm joined by Scott Sandlin, India Country Chair, ExxonMobil. Thank you, Scott, for joining.
Saurav, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Very pleased.
So, to start with, global capital is cautious, and even as energy demand rises, what would make India a more compelling long-term energy investment destination for companies like Exxon?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for the question. I think policy design matters, and policy that encourages competition, policy that provides stable regulations, and policy that provides transparency on things like transfer price mechanisms
Right.
are very important because global corporations, the clarity around their tax liabilities. And for global companies, clarity is so crucial because that clarity then gives confidence for global companies to be able to fully deploy their capabilities and their capital here in India in a way that helps advance Viksit Bharat 2047 objectives.
Yeah, you're right because these this capital come in for a long time, so you need to have stable sort of policy mechanism to encourage investors to
Sure.
come to India. While that's one part of that, there is another part which is in this if I could call it a VUCA
Mm.
energy word, uncertain in terms of transition, especially, and we are seeing the dialogue here, coexistence of EVs, hydrogen, and everything. So, especially with shifts in renewables, geopolitics, policy changes, and technological advancements, what role Exxon is playing globally, and what will be your playbook in India?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. So let me talk a little bit about how ExxonMobil thinks at a corporate level. We play the long game,
Right.
right? We make investments that last 20, 30, 40 years out into the future. So by definition, we are long-term thinkers and we base our decisions on market fundamentals. The other element I would say is that we work to solve what we call the and equation, and that is to provide the energy and the products that the world needs for today's modern living and do it while reducing emissions.
Right.
And we do that by fully leveraging our capabilities across all of our businesses globally. So, in the upstream business, we are growing our industry leading portfolio to help ensure that we can meet the energy demand growth of the world. In our product solutions business, we are developing new products that are high value and lower in emissions.
Right.
So things like Proxima resin systems, like carbon materials. And then in our low carbon solutions business, frankly, nobody has built a business like we have, where we have the world's largest carbon capture and storage system, end to end system in the southern parts of the United States.
Right.
So as I turn to India, maybe let me give a little context first about ExxonMobil's history in India and our journey.
Right.
So ExxonMobil's been in India for over a century. So we started providing liquid fuels in the early decades of the 20th century, helping to provide for India's energy security. We started supplying lubricants in the early 1960s and continue on with that business today. We helped pioneer the LNG market in India in the late 90s with the first supplies coming in 2004. And what I would say is we've been steadily growing our business over the last 3 decades. But what has become incredibly clear for ExxonMobil in the last few years is that India is a strategic growth location for us globally. And India is very important to ExxonMobil for many reasons. But when you think about the incredible depth of talent in this country is next level. You think about the energy and the demand growth and the market growth as India continues its very impressive growth journey. And then frankly, when we look at the capabilities and the strengths of ExxonMobil, our scale, our integration, our global capabilities, we see that those are a very clear match for meeting India's national priorities in Viksit Bharat 2047. So our playbook here in India will be looking for those opportunities to fully leverage our strengths to multiply the advance leap forward in Viksit Bharat 2047. We'll continue our liquefied natural gas business as India looks to continue to grow and advance towards a gas-based economy with a 15% energy demand mix. We see an incredible opportunity to make in India, leverage our industry-leading project execution capabilities to where we invest about $20 billion a year in capital investments around the world. We have built some equipment here in India since about 2010. Context is about $100 million over the last 2 years, but we see an incredible opportunity to scale that dramatically into the billions here in the very near term. We see a strong synergy there with shipbuilding. That is a stated focus in Viksit Bharat 2047. Those tie together very nicely. We're very proud of our lubricants plant that we just built in Maharashtra.
Right.
That is just over $100 million investment. One of the things that we're so proud of with that investment is that it was engineered, procured, and constructed with 100% Indian content minus one thing. So that is one of the areas, the reasons why we have so much confidence in our ability to scale Make in India here. And we'll continue to look for other opportunities where our capabilities and the nation's priorities match up, create shared value, and work together.
Yeah, right. Yes, of course. India is unignorable as of now for its depth, its requirements. Infrastructure is improving, demand is improving. As we heard that 35% of the incremental demand for energy is going to come from India.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a hotspot for every investor. And and when we look at it from that lens, what should be India's priority with regards to energy, given its such huge demand and relatively insignificant domestic production, though?
Yeah, I think as India continues its impressive growth journey, I think access to affordable energy is key. As that growth continues, the middle class expands, and the energy dense sectors like transportation, like industrials, like construction of infrastructure, those energy dense sectors will continue to scale. The fundamentals of energy demand growth are very clear. Globally, we see energy demand continuing to rise. We see that oil and gas will be needed to fulfill about half of that global demand, even as far out as 2050. And we know that no single source of energy is sufficient to meet that demand growth in India or globally. And so I think India has been very strategic to leverage an all of the above strategy in meeting its energy demand. We know that oil and gas will be here for a long time and is needed for those energy dense sectors. I think things that would be good for India would be things like securing more long-term contracts that help provide price stability for India going forward, and diversifying supply sources to help provide India with energy security long into the future. Renewables, we've seen the incredibly impressive growth here in India. We know they will play an increasing part of the energy balance going forward. I think India continuing to focus on and invest in and address the intermittency challenges and the energy storage challenges will be very smart. And then I think having policies built around attracting investment from outside. As we talked about earlier, India wins when policy encourages global competition, encourages and provides stable regulation and transparency around the things like transfer price mechanisms, so that global corporations have clarity that yields confidence in deploying their capabilities and their capital here to advance Viksit Bharat 2047.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that kind of stability is required, and you rightly said in storage, when we have humongous targets of 500 gigawatts of renewables. And what's interesting, which has come up here in India and in this conference, is that the coexistence of different fuel sources. It's not going to be
Yeah.
anyone, because
Yeah.
probably a few years back we were writing off oil and gas, but now we know that we are all going. These all fuel sources are going to coexist. And you talked about your Exxon's relationship with India in terms of LNG, and you recently and you also said that we need long-term contracts. You recently signed a deal with Petronet for 2026, I'm guessing. So, will we see more such contracts coming from Exxon in terms of LNG to India? And also, has the recent geopolitical changes made India a favored market for ExxonMobil?
Yeah, so let me zoom out for a minute and talk about our LNG business globally. So ExxonMobil is growing our LNG business globally. We have the target of supplying 40 million tons per annum of sales by 2030, as we work with buyers and as we work with countries to meet their energy demands, including India's. We are very proud of the role that we played in helping to pioneer the LNG market here in India in the late 90s, with those first supplies starting in 2004. As you mentioned, we signed additional contracts in 2017, and those flows will start here in 2026 in this year. And India is an incredibly important LNG market. Here very soon, it'll be the third largest importer of LNG anywhere on the planet.
Right.
So we are very keen to continue building on those strong partnerships that we have to help supply more LNG to India, that helps the transition to the gas-based economy and delivering on the 15% gas-based energy mix of Viksit Bharat 2047.
Yeah. Yes, we have an ambitious target of 15% of gas mix. Final question, Scott, and you've been using the term Viksit Bharat, so, and I saw that you used that in your LinkedIn also.
Yeah.
So how do you personally and professionally plan to contribute towards India's Viksit Bharat goals?
Yeah, so let me step back and I'll tell you a little bit about me and my career and my life. I have been very blessed over my career to be able to spend most of that time living in somebody else's country.
Okay.
And what I have learned through that experience is the magic that happens, all of the good that can be done in this world when the capabilities and the strengths of ExxonMobil mesh very nicely with a nation's priorities. The economy gets better, the energy security gets better, and people's lives get better. And so I am incredibly passionate about finding those opportunities that I believe fundamentally are so clear here in India. And to say it simply, the way that we will help multiply the advance on Viksit Bharat 2047 is to stitch it together where ExxonMobil's capabilities are a very strong match. I personally believe that is across all ranges of ExxonMobil's business and all elements of Viksit Bharat 2047.
Right. Thank you so much, Scott. It's good to hear that a legacy company like Exxon is so closely watching India and is trying to contribute towards Viksit Bharat.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to many more.
Same here. Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you.